Like, oh, please, I need more money. I need more weapons. NATO, you so great. You give us all the money and weapons we need to die. So thank you, thank you. Now, when can I be member of party? When can I join? They say, oh, we don't know about that. You suck. You do nothing for me. You kill me. I don't like you. You are the worst. I will have none of this. What is that? Who told Zelensky? Oh, maybe Sean Penn told him he could join NATO. Maybe that's what happened. Sean Penn smoked a doobie and then told Zelensky, yeah, you're joining NATO for sure, bro. Well, Joe Biden went all the way to Lithuania for the NATO summit and dinner and meetings, and he's skipping half the meetings, and he's going to be skipping dinner tonight as well. He just can't hack it. So let's just be real. Look, I just call it straight here. I will tell you, I don't think the Democrats actually have a plan right now. I think they've got ideas, but, it really just shows you the Democrats really are not a solid moving force. I mean, they are culturally and they are on the narrative, but that's just like innate for them. That's just like robotic movements. I don't know if they really have a solid plan. I mean, we can all see them building up Gavin Newsom, obviously. We see that going on. But when you have other Democrats like AOC coming out and endorsing Biden, that just tells me there is no cohesion right now, and they don't have a plan. Unless AOC is some sort of a strategic genius to endorse Biden as a troll, but I don't see that as the case. But nonetheless, Joe Biden unable to make the dinner tonight. And you'd think this is kind of a big deal. 80-year-old Joe Biden skips dinner with NATO leaders and goes to his hotel. It's Betty Bye time. Time for the Biden Betty time, Biden nap time, but maybe he's got a Biden baggie he needs to investigate. So, and then the excuse was he's too busy and he's got a speech to write. Oh, yeah. We believe Joe Biden is writing his own speeches. We can just tell by the eloquence of his delivery. I'm sure he's writing his own speeches. And, of course, everybody pointing out how the Biden crime family was just on vacation on the beach for 4 straight days. So, hey, whatever, take a beach vacation. But this whole notion, like, he told other world leaders like Erdogan, he promised him he'd be there, and then he snubbed him. And I'm too busy. And what do you think they're saying? Well, they saw Joe Biden at the beach, too. They heard about the Biden baggie at the White House. They're saying, you're too busy, huh? It's just total disrespect. And it sets our nation back geopolitically and on a respect level that really can't be measured or understood. It's devastating. It is totally devastating. So that's what you get. And considering the big news today, you'd think it would be imperative for Biden to show face. You'd think it'd be imperative for Biden to show face. Now, everybody knows what's really going on. This is Joe Biden, 80 years old and needing to go to bed and have his bedtime tapioca pudding. But see, they could very easily take it. If we didn't know Joe Biden was physically unable to do the job, we could easily say, oh, look, Joe Biden is snubbing the NATO dinner because of the decision, the statement from NATO today that Ukraine is not going to be accepted at this time. So Joe Biden sends political statement by skipping NATO dinner. But we know that's not the case. We know that's not the case. Joe Biden can't go to the dinner because it's Betty Bye time. The jet lag has probably completely destroyed his sleep schedule. He's lost pretty much everywhere he's gone on this trip when the cameras are rolling. So, yeah, it's over. It's game over for Joe Biden's trip now. He's out of gas. He's out of gas. But so here it is. The NATO summit. And the news comes out today. NATO allies refuse to give Ukraine time frame on joining. And now Zelensky's all upset. But how much of this is fake? How much of this is just exaggeration versus organic? Is Zelensky really upset that he didn't get accepted into NATO? Did Zelensky really expect for them to say, okay, Ukraine, you can get in by this year or the end of this year or whatever? Did he really expect that? Is he living in delusion? Who's giving him these ideas? Zelensky lashes out at NATO over no clear membership timeline at summit. And who is this little tyrant to be lecturing NATO? Now, I have no respect for NATO. I want NATO disbanded and shut down, or at least get the U.S. out of it. But who is this little tyrant to stand up to NATO that he begs? He begs and pleads on his knees like a whimpering puppy for money and arms, and then he doesn't get it, and he says, how dare you? He's like Eric Cartman. Zelensky Cartman. If you've ever watched South Park, Cartman begs his mom for a toy and is all sweet and like a puppy and begs his mom for the toy. And then as soon as his mom says no, he starts cursing her out. And, you know, if you watch the show, you know. So basically, it's Zelensky Cartman. Like, oh, please, I need more money. I need more weapons. NATO, you so great. You give us all the money and weapons we need to die. So thank you, thank you. Now, when can I be member of party? When can I join? They say, oh, we don't know about that. You suck. You do nothing for me. You kill me. I don't like you. You are the worst. I will have none of this. What is that? Who told Zelensky? Oh, maybe Sean Penn told him he could join NATO. Maybe that's what happened. Sean Penn smoked a doobie and then told Zelensky, yeah, you're joining NATO for sure, bro. And he believed it. And then they played the piano with their male members. Biden says Ukraine is not ready for NATO membership. Oh, and now a change of message at the White House, too. So, look, the consensus response to the anti-war right alternative media is, oh, well, this is great news. This is going to avoid World War III. Zelensky has egg on his face. And look at how great we are. We're winning. No, this is not a win. If anything, this is a stalemate. The only victory is either the United States withdrawing from NATO or NATO being completely disbanded altogether. That is the only victory here. Now, as far as the war in Ukraine is concerned, do you really think any of this is going to stop the war in Ukraine? No. Whether Ukraine goes into NATO or not, the war goes on. Nothing would change. Now, if you believe, and maybe Zelensky believes this, and it just shows you how nuts you are if you believe this. If you believe Ukraine joining NATO is going to lead to World War III, then what are you assuming? You're assuming that now Ukraine is going to have what? All these arms and military bases sitting right on Russia's doorstep? And so that's a good thing? So whoever thinks Ukraine joining NATO is a good thing is completely insane. Whoever thinks Ukraine not joining NATO is completely insane. This is not going to stop the war in Russia, war in Ukraine, or Russia, Freudian slip. And guess what? The United States will still pay the most for NATO, and the United States will still pay the most for the war in Ukraine. So what are we celebrating? It's an embarrassment. The whole thing is an embarrassment. It's the war racket.
That's why InfoWars has to be on air, because you know what? We do scream it from the top of the mountain. We do try to get as many eyes and as many ears on this information as possible. And it's only InfoWars that does it, quite frankly. That's why InfoWarsStore.com is so important. But aside from the importance and the necessity of InfoWars or InfoWars Store, it's a great store. We have the best supplements on the market. They're badass supplements. They are badass supplements. In fact, I don't even know if I want to go with this, but soon people are going to realize in the healthcare, nutrition, supplement industry that have maybe kind of scoffed at InfoWars supplements. Soon they're going to realize that we have the best supplements on the market. And it might be before long people are dialing up to private label this stuff. I'm just going to leave it at that. DNA Force Plus. This is such an elite supplement. This is the elite of the elite. And people go to it and they see the high price and they're like, whoa, this is expensive. Yeah, it's the real deal, man. Look at all the ingredients in DNA Force Plus and do the research and you'll know why. Folks, 100% recommendation rate. 100%. All 5-star reviews. Not a single 4-star review. Not one. All 5. That is almost impossible in certified reviews. I guess we've just made it possible. DNA Force Plus. It's possible to get a perfect rating. That's just one of the incredible supplements. Brain Force Ultra, we brought this to try what a liquid tincture would be like in comparison to the formula that we had in pill form, Brain Force Plus. We said, hey, let's try a liquid tincture. Liquid tinctures sometimes are a little bit more effective. And so let's go ahead and just try that. Limited release. It sold off the shelves within a month. And so it was like an experiment. Like, oh, that worked. Let's go ahead and do that again. So we've purchased another shipment and it is back in stock. Brain Force Ultra. And I've been one to take Brain Force Plus before I go on air. I've now switched to Brain Force Ultra, exclusively available at InfoWarsStore.com. Right there's my bottle that I keep on my desk so I can have it every day. It's at InfoWarsStore.com. Great supplements and fund the InfoWar.
Secure your copy of COVIDland at COVIDland.com and start fighting back against the globalist lies.